In today's tutorial, I will be driving you through a scholarship opportunity for undergraduate students. So, if you just came from high school or you are considered as a high school graduate and you are encountering some financial difficulties in sponsoring yourself at tertiary institution, then this tutorial is a perfect opportunity for you that you can be able to tap on, and it will open your way to entering university for the course of your undergraduate studies. So let's begin. You open your browser and the scholarship opportunity name is Wells, Wells, Wells Mountain. Just type it quick. Wells Mountain Initiative. Initiative Scholarship. Okay, so 2023 application. All right. So when you log in Wells Mountain Initiative Scholarship 2023, when you do, these are options that the browser will bring, and then you click on Wells Mountain Initiative. When you click on it, this area will open. And when it opens, you have to read the details of the scholarship, and then you will know when application open, when application closes, what are the requirements, and what are the documents that are requested or are required for this scholarship opportunity. So I am also a WMI scholar and I hail from Liberia. Currently, I am a senior mining engineering student and pretty soon will be graduating from my undergraduate institution of studies. And I have always been in the vanguard of sharing this opportunity with other less fortunate students who just came from high school and their parents can't afford to sponsor them at university or college to acquire their ambition. So when this area open, these are information regarding the scholarship, right? So who are we? These are information. What do we do? They are involved in sponsoring people in education, in collective action, in community development grants, and what have you. So these are areas that they throw their money because if you are a WMI scholar, there are certain things that are required of you. And those things include you should be a person who is a vision bearer. You should be a person who desires to work for his or her community. And you should be willing to give back. All right. So those are people that WMI is interested in sponsoring because they know when they sponsor you at your undergraduate program and then you have the opportunity or the opportunity is provided to you to acquire your first degree, and if you are opportune to start working and earning, definitely you will use that career to impact your community. So next is the impact. So you can read more details about this, but I want to drive you through the main reason why we are using this website, which is the official website of the institution. So these are all the WMI scholars and programs they sponsor. Right. So when you open this, you click on Scholar application. So when this area is open, and then you will say interested in becoming a WMI scholar, you have to read all of the instructions carefully because those are simple things that can usually lead people along the way. If you are applying for a scholarship opportunity, those things you should take into consideration. Number one is the opening date of the scholarship. Number two, the end date of the scholarship. You should also be checking for the nationality or the countries that are eligible for the scholarship. You should also be taking into consideration the requirements involved, the documents that are required for the application. So when all that is set up and then you meet up with those criteria, definitely you can go ahead to apply for the scholarship. So here, our ideal candidate is student, male or female, from a country in the developing world who are, number one, successfully completed a secondary education with excellent grades. So these are requirements that you should also look in, right? Because graduating from tertiary institution, meaning you are a bright student. And WMI is not interested in wasting their money on someone who is not a bright student. WMI is not interested in sponsoring students who, in time to come, will quit their studies for another thing, which their funding or sponsorship will go in vain. So you should be taking these things into serious consideration. And secondly, the age requirement also matters. You should be 35 years of age. You should have an excellent grade in your secondary school. Second to that, you should also be a graduate or in a high school or secondary institution of learning. Next requirement is you should be below the age of 35 years as of March 1st, 2023. So those are requirements that are involved in eligibility. So please take that into serious consideration. And another one is you should also be willing to study in your country, meaning the country that you are in, that you have nationality of, and then you are applying, you should have interest of staying in your country to study. So this is not a fully funded scholarship abroad. This is not an abroad scholarship. This is a scholarship that is meant for developing countries and students who are struggling from a challenging financial background are those students that Wells Mountain is looking for to sponsor them for their undergrad program. And you should not have the desire of going out of your country for study if you are given the opportunity. Next is either you be pursuing your first degree, which is BSc in any discipline or a diploma program. So those are the requirements. So if you just from high school and then you are not pursuing any BSc program or neither a diploma program, this is also an opportunity for you. You can make use of this opportunity. But people who have acquired their first degree or people who is desire of acquiring master's degree are not eligible for this scholarship. Next, you should be enrolled into a program of study that will benefit the community or that will contribute to the advancement of your home country. There are most people who will attend university because of peer pressure. They go into a specific department that they are not passionate about. That's number one. Number two, there are some courses or discipline you will go into to pursue your first degree. Your community will not benefit from those field of study. So if you are applying, for example, I applied as a mining engineering student or a student who has desire of studying mining engineering. So if you see the economy of my country, the GDP highly relied on the extractive industry. But within the extractive industry, to find indigenous Liberians to spearhead or to create jobs in the extractive industry for other Liberians, it is quite difficult. But rather, we have foreigners, we have aliens who bring their companies, they go in the memorandum of understanding. But those memorandum of understanding at times are not obeyed by the company. So in that, there are a lot of casualties that can be caused along the way, a lot of disagreement, a lot of disenchantment, and that have led on several occasions damage of properties, loss of lives, and just name the rest. So it was based on a background that I decided to go and study mining engineering. That after acquiring my first degree, with my expertise and my technical skill, I will be able to empower all the less fortunate families that they will use that opportunity to send their children to school or to find ends meet for their family. Also, all the people who have consulted me and then gave them some advices have gone into the agricultural field. Some people have gone into the medical field. Some people are currently studying nursing and the rest of it. So when you are applying and then you're wanting to attend university, go into a specific field that field will be able to impact your community, will impact your country, and also its citizens. Second requirement that you should take into consideration, you should plan to live and work in your country after graduation. There are many people who, when they are opportune to attend university to acquire their first degree, they will have ambition of traveling to another country to apply for jobs or to seek resident permits or job permits to work in different country. So WMBI is creating an enabling environment in which they will use their scholars to change the narrative of their community. So if you have 4 or 5 WMI scholars who are making these changes, who are making the difference in the community, then you will see definitely other people will follow suit. So this is the type of word the Wells Mountain Initiative is trying to establish. Next, you should be able to demonstrate or give back as volunteer prior to apply. So before you can apply, you should have already been a volunteer participating in community-based organization, in non-governmental organization, or non-political organization, that you are just using that means to give back to your community. Because in the application, you will be requested to upload volunteer photos. And those photos will signify that this applicant is definitely making change in his or her community. And when our sponsorship is given or the opportunity is provided to this applicant, he or she will make maximum use to impact his or her community. The last but not the least, you may have all funds available for education, but not able to pursue your undergrad program without other people assisting or other philanthropic organization assisting. This simply means that there are people who have money, but the money cannot commensurate with other colleges or universities' school fees. Like for instance, I'm volunteering or I'm doing a part-time job that I can afford $50 per month. So out of the $50, I have a portion there for my expenditure, like taking care of my well-being and other stuff. But my saving, like for instance, I'm taking $20 to save it. When you multiply that 20 by 12 months, we'll be discussing $240. And that $240 in no way can sponsor you to college or university. Despite WMR is looking for inspiring change maker, they are not also looking for people who are liabilities. The saying often goes that when someone is washing your back, you should help to wash your stomach. So in this, it is true that it hails from a very difficult or challenging economic background. But you are also proving to WMR with the level of assistance that will be rendered you. You will also be able to use spaces between your semester to hustle or sell to generate extra funding that will be able to cover all extra expenses during the course of your program. So that is just the first aspect of it. This is just the overview of the eligibility requirements. So you should take those hints of this application into serious consideration. And WMR, if you read this area, WMR receives application every year. Their application starts usually by the 1st of December and ends by March 1st. So every year of March 1st, the Wells Mountain Initiative receives thousands of applications from around the world. And when this scholarship application is received by WMR, result usually come by August 1st. So if you are successful on August 1st, your name will be placed on their official Facebook page as of August 1st of every year. And that will show the name of the student, the country, and that of their field of study that was successful for the application. In this application process, people go usually like 4 rounds of the application process, making it very competitive. It is a life-changing opportunity that you dare not to miss. So put in all of your efforts, put in your time and energy to apply for this opportunity. And the last warning, it is marked as ASCAR. Scholars planning to study in the United States, Canada, Australia, UK, or Western Europe will not qualify for the WMI scholarship. So if you are anticipating to study in any of these countries, definitely you are not qualified to apply for this scholarship. Tips for becoming a competitive applicant. Number one, you should provide record of your service or activities within your online application. You have to provide everything. You have to provide the date, activities, time spent, and photograph of your voluntary activity. So if you say that you have been volunteering for 2 or 3 organizations, you will be requested to indicate the name of the institution you volunteer with, the time you volunteer with them, the date, the photograph as evidence that yes, this applicant has been volunteering at this institution. Next, your secondary school transcript, your national exam results, and grading keys to interpret your results will be requested also. So you need to provide a transcript from your high school. You need to provide your national exam certificate or results. Like for instance, in West Africa, we take the West Africa Senior Secondary Examination Council, which is WACS. But back then, I did WAC, which was the West Africa Examination Council. So if you did WAC, you can also provide the result of your WAC during your application. Or if you did WACS, you can also provide result of your WACS. Next, you also have to provide key to interpret your grades. For instance, in my country, at the secondary level, all grades are in numeric. And WMI will be requesting you to give interpretation of those numbers. For some countries, their grading system is in alphabet. So if it is in alphabet, definitely you need to give interpretation of the alphabet. Like for instance, from 100 to 90 represents A. From 80 to 89 represent B. And that is just how the grading system goes by stages. So you will also have those numeric and alphabet to represent which one the numbers stand for. So in that WMI will get a clearer understanding of the grading system. Even for your WACs, when you turn the back of your original WAC result, you will see the grades interpretation. Just scan it and then upload it during your application because it will be requested. They will request you to upload a key to interpret your WAC or your WAC certificate. In your high school, they will also be requesting you to send grades interpretation of your high school. Next is you will be requested to submit two letters of recommendation on official stationery from two persons who you know professionally or personally. So this is something that you should take into serious consideration. Always engage people to write recommendation that you know them professionally or you know them in person. Someone who you don't know and tell them to write a recommendation at times can mess you up, because whatsoever that will be placed in that recommendation, and when it is sent to the institution will take serious consideration on it. So you should take that into serious consideration and find all means possible to ask someone. And the two letter recommendation, one might come from the organization you volunteer with. You can also request your clergyman to provide you one letter recommendation. Or you can ask any of your high school teacher to write you one recommendation and ask your community leader to write you one recommendation, vice versa. But you should provide two letter recommendation. In follow details, you will see the length of those recommendations. There are people who just write one paragraph, summarize all of the person's attitude, characteristic, time of acquaintance, and then summarize with their signature as a recommendation. That's fine. But within this application, you need to write, or the recommender need to write in detail, explaining to WMR how they know you, when they know you, and your ambition. Someone who really know your life story, right? Next, all of your documents should be translated in English. So whether you are a Japanese, Chinese, Russian, Arab, you should translate all of your application in English. So that is the tip for becoming a competitive applicant. So important dates. Application usually open by the 1st of December of every year and closes March 1st of every year. So take those deadlines into serious consideration. Then we have the program for 2023. Read through year carefully. The OEMR Scholar Program 2023, read all of the requirements here. And here, the required elements for an application to be considered complete. You'll be requested to upload clear personal photo, meaning a passport size photo with white background. It should be clear. Essay topic is stated on your application form. Usually there are two essays, right? But the first essay was requesting that if you are given the sum of 1,000 United States dollars, what is the community initiative project you will undertake, and how will that project impact your community? So in there, you need to be strategic. You need to work on a plan that will suit in the expenditure of the 1,000. Like for example, you can decide to construct a modern hand pump where there is no access to safe drinking water, or you may decide to construct a pit latrine that the community is in need of, and you saw it prudent to erect a modern pit latrine where people use the nearby creeks or rivers to defecate which also causes pollution to the water and also people who are using the water for domestic use. So you can think on other projects that you might implement that will benefit the entire community, right? At times, there are application question or essay questions can be updated. So don't depend on what I just said. The application essays questions are always in your application form. So check in your application form. Your essay will be there and you can start writing the essay. And the essay always, it is not less than 500 words. So take that into serious consideration. Number two, you should also be able to complete your application form, your online application form. So you'll be requested to fill your online form, and after which you'll be requested to upload all of your documents before doing your final submission. So don't forget, don't leave any form blank. Next is a personal statement. And in this personal statement, you are requested to write a personal statement about yourself, your family background, how you started your education, challenges, difficulties that you encounter. And also, you should be someone who hails from a challenging or a difficult financial background. So those important statements of yourself or useful information that WMR is to be aware of should be included within your personal statement, because this is the movement that WMR will use to know you better. So write a killer personal statement that will set you as a competitive applicant. Two letter recommendations. The letter recommendation that we discussed previously are the two recommendations that will be requested for you to upload. Official transcript of your secondary school, key to interpret your high school transcript, key to interpret your grades from university if you have started classes, but maybe you dropped out of school or out of college, or maybe you are attending vocational institution, but you dropped out because of finances. You can be able to upload those progress reports that you initially obtained from that institution, and keys to interpret them. So those are documents that you have to upload during your application. So yeah, recommendation letter vary through our cultures. We have created guidelines for effective application recommendation letters. So if you click this particular guideline, we take you to those materials that are required to be included within your recommendation, the length of your recommendation. So everything is embedded within this particular guidelines. So if you want someone to help you write your recommendation, you click on this guideline and then you will go to a PDF file where you can be able to download that particular guideline and share it with the person who you want them to help you write your recommendation. So we come to the application process. The application process is very competitive, as I said earlier. When you are applying for the scholarship, you can be excited that I will be selected, but don't raise your expectations so high above the bar. Always review your application. Don't be too anxious to submit your application without filling or uploading those important documents that are required. If your documents are not uploaded, your application will definitely be trashed out. For instance, let's get a gist of what I'm saying here. If you qualify, now is the time to apply for this exciting opportunity. Meaning, if you have met up with all of the requirements above, you can apply for the opportunity. Since 2005, WMI has supported more than 640 students worldwide. But in recent years, the selection process have been very tedious, which only 5% of the applicants are selected each year. The number that WMI select is based solely upon limited funding, as nearly all applicants are extremely deserving. As the organization grows, the number of scholars will increase. So back then, when we were doing our application, we were 1,600 plus students who applied worldwide. But when the application vetting committee went through the process, only 86 students back then were selected. So you should know how competitive the application was. And the application is done online. Those formats that you can upload your document in are JPG, you can save it as picture, PNG, GIF, documents, PDF, and what have you. So those are formats that are accepted that you can upload your document in for your application. So if you want to apply, click on apply here, and it will take you directly to the link that you can be able to start your application. And one of the major things here is this: attention scholarship applicants. So WMI is also sending caveat. There are a lot of scammers on the internet, so be aware. No one should ask you for fees. The application is totally free. You are required to go on the internet, browse, search for the scholarship website, click on the apply button, and it will take you to the website. No one should request fee from you. Anyone who requests fees from you to apply it or tell you that they will help you and give you admission to the scholarship, that person is a fraud. That person is a scammer. So be warned. If you come across any such person, please feel free to email the WMI on this email address. Anyone who will request fees, that person is a scammer. Please take note, and I wish you well in your application process. I provide consultancy for people, but please, this is not a pay for, and I will only be available provided if you want me to assist you. Just leave your comment in the comment section or your suggestion or recommendation, and I will be able to reply to you in the soonest possible time. Thank you. Hope this information was helpful, and I wish you best of luck. Bye for now.